So global soccer development. I just want to show you briefly why we are doing what we're doing. Is number one is to give young talented players like you guys, like girls and boys that are elite players, an access to the highest level in Germany, like to youth Bundesliga academies. So that's our purpose, to really inspire you and give you access to a high level competition in Germany. Yeah. And then who we are, obviously, the company has been founded, and I'm the owner, Eddie Loewen. I founded the company, and with the support of a very good friend of mine that you see here as Arne Loewen, we're able to add a lot of different products to our travel. So we have developed with Arne a great trip also to Berlin, because Arne currently works for Hertha Berlin, BSC. It's a first Bundesliga club. And I'm going to talk about Arne in a little bit more in detail. Myself, I live in Florida, okay, and I'm going to show you here my family, so you get a little bit of an idea of who I am. You see on the top picture there, on the top right, top left, that's me with my wife, 3 kids. Amaya is the oldest. She's 21, is going to college. Then I have 2 other boys, Adam, the dark hair, is 17, and Nick is 15. Both Adam used to play soccer, Nick is still playing soccer, but he's also liking a lot American football. So actually he wants to play one day in the NFL. So hopefully he's gonna make that happen, right? I prefer though if he plays soccer, but everybody gotta choose their passion. You see a picture of me there on the right top. I had a little bit longer hair. I was a little bit skinnier. There was in a FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup qualifier in 2009. I played for the Beach Soccer World Cup team, Beach Soccer national team in Germany for 9 years. Also coached the team for 4 years. You see on the bottom below, there's a picture of me coaching. That was also during the World Cup qualifier. Actually, that picture was taken in France, in Marseille. And then to the left, you see a bunch of former players and then coaches. We are all at FIFA at that picture. We are in Zurich, Switzerland. That's the FIFA headquarters. And we took that picture with all of the FIFA coaching instructors. And what a coaching instructor does, we pretty much teach other coaches how to teach effectively and in a good way. So that's a little bit about me. I also grew up playing in Germany. I played in Germany my whole life till about 20 years old, also professional in the 3rd division in Germany before I moved to the US. And my friend, Arne Friedrich, who you see him on the bottom there, tackling Lionel Messi. Do you see him? The picture down there, that's from the World Cup 2010 when Germany beat Argentina 3-0. And Arne actually played directly against Leo Messi. And Arne scored in that game 1 more goal than Messi did, because Messi didn't score at all and Arne scored 1. And Germany went on to play in the semi-final when they lost there against Spain, who then won the World Cup. So Arne and me, if you look on the top picture, that to the left, that's a youth picture from 1994. Okay, so a long time ago. And then Arne and me played at that time together. And that's a beautiful thing about sports, and especially soccer. As a team sport, you make friends, you make lifelong connections. And Arne and me know each other since we are 15 years old, and we are up to this day very good friends. And we work together still on the field as coaches and partners now with bringing opportunities, unique opportunities to US talented players. Arne also played in the MLS. At the end of his career, he played 2 seasons for Chicago Fire. Maybe some of you guys remember him also from Fox Sports, because during the big tournaments like the European Championships and World Cups, he also was a commentator, a news anchor with Fox Sports. And so he played in 2 World Cups and was a little bit more fortunate than me in his career, and had a much better career, obviously, with being on the absolute highest level. But one thing that we try to do is like share some of these experiences with you, how you get to that highest level, playing for your country, playing for a national team, and being consistently successful. And being successful consistently on the field is not just what you do with the ball, like your technique or your physical ability, your understanding of the game. to be honest, most of the things to be consistently successful happens right here. That's the most important muscle that you need to learn to control. Your mindset, and then also through your mindset, building character. And that's another thing that we really try to do. Not only do we want to teach you about the game to help you learn more and get better, we also really want to inspire you. We want to inspire you to become the best version of yourself on the field, but also off the field. And so I want to talk a little bit about, do you see this logo here? Yeah. Can you recognize a lion?
You can make it a little bit smaller, Coach. It looks like it's a little bit too big on the screen.
A little bit smaller? I don't know if I can, oops. I don't know if I, can you see, what do you see?
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Perfect. Got it.
This is okay?
All good now.
Okay. All right. So there's a lion, right? And, you know, one of the things, a lion is a tribe animal. Huh? A lion works in a family. They hunt together, they live together. And in sports and soccer, especially, we got to be together as well. We got to be a team. We need to learn to be a team player, right? And a lion is also a symbol of strength. Yeah, and one thing, those spikes that you see coming out of the lion, what do you think that is? Anybody an idea? No idea? Valeria? Tyler? Any idea? It's a compass, okay? It's a compass that's supposed to help us with direction. And we call it, it's the inner compass for a person. Because if you have an inner compass, you learn to make good decisions and then navigate in life successfully. So we govern, or we try to live by 4 main values that are very important to us and that we feel are very important in sports to be successful as well, which are respect, integrity, service, and discipline. And those things we try to instill in our players and share that with you on the journey when we are in Germany. So that's a little bit an overview of who we are, because I think it's always important for you as players to know who you work with. So that was just any questions from your end? Anything, everything cool? Yeah, Tyler, you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. So you guys offer tournaments or an academy in Germany to visit?
Okay. Yes. So what we do is we in the trip, and I'm going to talk a little bit more in detail about a trip itinerary, like it would look like in a second. But yes, we will play and we organize a tournament, and then we invite the Bundesliga academies to our tournament. So it's very intimate. It's not like let's say a surf cup where you have 300 teams participate or 400 teams. It's very, very intimate. You have maybe 8 teams total play in one age group, and so you play in your group 3 matches, but all matches are like against Bundesliga academies, highest level, and then you play semi-final and final.
Yeah.
So
okay.
It's very, very intimate, but it's the absolute highest level. So we had in the past, we had in our tournament Schalke 04, we had Borussia Dortmund, Hoffenheim, for example, Bundesliga clubs. Fortuna Düsseldorf is a Bundesliga club. We used to play in the past also against Bayern Munich directly. And the trip that we put together for especially IPA players starts with 4 days in Munich. Okay.
The German Cup?
What is that?
The German Cup?
It's a GSD Cup. But the GSD Cup is played at the end of the trip. So the first 4 days will start actually in Munich. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the actual itinerary that would be created for you. Okay. So you would leave either San Francisco or LA, and then land or from wherever you're flying out of, and then arrive in Munich on August 1st. And then your pretty much your training and everything starts that day. We have a coach, Mike Hilvig, who is a German coach, UEFA A license coach, who also worked with FC Bayern Munich in the past, and he will be there. You're pretty much to-go guy. He will also work with you on training sessions. He will support the training staff, the coaching staff that is there with you. So on the first 2 days, you will train You will visit the FC Bayern Munich Academy, the campus. We will go and visit the Allianz Arena. Okay, we will also play a friendly match. And also, you know, depending on the situation right now, we are planning on having some training sessions with the FC Bayern Munich staff. Okay, and
Wow.
if we can put a cherry on the ice cream, we would also play if it's gonna be made possible against FC Bayern Munich. Okay, directly. So that's the goal in those first 4 days. And then on the 5th day, you guys would pack up and leave Munich and then drive north to Germany, and we'll make a stop in Duisburg. Duisburg is a city, it's a small city, but it's very close to Düsseldorf, and it's in the center of Germany. And if you draw a radius of maybe like an hour from Duisburg, you have clubs like FC Schalke, Borussia Dortmund, Leverkusen, FC Cologne, VfL Bochum, Borussia Mönchengladbach, MSV Duisburg, just to name a few. They're all playing first Bundesliga, second Bundesliga, or third Bundesliga. So in Germany, we have like 3 Bundesliga divisions, right? Not like in the US, we have in the US MLS, USL, and then USL Championship, I think it's called. I'm not sure. But in Germany, we have first Bundesliga, like Bundesliga, second Bundesliga, third Bundesliga. And so we have in that area such a rich, so many great academies, Bundesliga academies. And so you will have access to that. We will visit actually some of the academies. I've been talking now with Schalke 04. So we're working on a day at Schalke so that you actually meet the Schalke coaches, have a training session there on ground with Schalke, visit the stadium. The Felddienst Arena is a very, very unique big stadium in Schalke. It's a fantastic place. If the pros would train at that time, which we don't know yet due to the COVID-19, the whole schedule is a little bit uncertain. So if the pros are in training, we would also watch a training session of the pros. So it allows you an inside view, a behind the scenes view of the Schalke Academy. And then we'll have training sessions in Duisburg, the facility. And you can check out that video that I played for you. It's on our website if you want to replay it. At the end of that video, you'll see some sequences of our facility. It's really, really pristine grass fields, really, really gorgeous. And like we are staying right there. It's like a hotel room, 2 players to a room. And you have great abilities to train, to have a very professional environment. And from there, we go and play friendly games and do other things. But you can view that video if you go to our website later on. Lonnie can share that as well. It's Global Soccer Development. Okay, yeah, Valeria, you have a question?
Yeah, I wanted to say, what's the youngest group you guys have right now?
The youngest age group is birth year 2009. So how old are you, Valeria?
I'm turning 12 next week.
This is an 08.
So you are 2009.
So what's good about them is we also maybe should explain the difference of the female categories compared to how the male categories are sectioned off as well. So there's a big understanding that you are going to be grouped together with some interesting age groups in the female category.
Absolutely. So in Germany, also in that area, obviously when the tournament is happening, we have quite a few Bundesliga clubs that are promoting the female game and that have youth academies for girls, and also have Bundesliga teams. So because in Germany we have also a female Bundesliga, right? So the first part is in Munich with obviously the female part of FC Bayern Munich, and we have actually right now the female player. She's still playing in England right now professionally with West Ham. Okay. But she used to play at FC Bayern Munich. She's a female player. And right now it looks like she's going to be available to work with the girls on that trip, okay, especially in Munich. And then when we are in Duisburg, we'll also have some, professional players that you guys have access to, German professional players, and then play against, the German professional clubs. Like we have FC Cologne as a good program, MSV Duisburg. We have Leverkusen has a good girls program. So we are putting together there, just like for the boys, we're putting a program together for the girls. Now, I think the boys are a little bit more under the gun. You're gonna have to prove a little bit more that you can hang with the Bundesliga boys academies, because I think on the girls side, it's just the truth that we have, won world championships on the women's side. We have won the gold medals in the Olympic Games, and our women's program is extremely strong. So in Germany, the programs, the female players, are also very, very good, as you know. And if you follow obviously international soccer on the women's side, the Germans are always in the top, top 2, top 4. But one thing that's very different in the German game is that the Germans play much more technical and tactical. Yeah, I think that on the physical side, the US game is still ahead of us. But when we look at the German female side, the girls are very, very technical and very tactical. And girls normally play all the way up to, I would say, U15, U16 with boys. And then when they are elite, the top girls then at U16, U17 go and transition in the youth Bundesliga and the girls Bundesliga team, okay? And all the way before that, they play against boys, which is actually for the girls, very, very good. The one thing that's missing a little bit is that, it always is good when girls play obviously with girls together on a highest level. But in Germany, the female development, of put an emphasis on the female game, we are still improving that, as we go. We're still improving that. I think women's soccer just started in the US in the 1980s. So it's not that long that we do it. But obviously, if you look at in the past, Germany has had great national teams and great success on the national level, international level.
Hey, Coach Eddie, one quick thing, Valeria, on your question there. One thing that we've noticed on the females, especially because we're really focused on developing the youth female product, is that there's 3 different age group categories for the females when we travel. And it's usually U12 and down, U16 and down, and U16 and above. So instead of you playing in your US soccer market and having to be in an age pure opportunity, we try to identify elite level players that we feel have specific attributes that could go into these particular areas and show themselves. So it's great that you might be the best goal scorer on your youth team in your area, but we might be looking at you at playing an outside attacking, let's say outside back, based on the area that you would be traveling into. So you being a 2000, let's say 8 right now, puts you at the highest category of U12s. But when you move into your next year, you are now on the youngest category of the U16. So you are a very young player in a very big pool of players. Now, the other thing I will say, and I'll leave this with Coach Eddie, is after you move past the 12, after that, you move into that 16 category. That's where you're trying to look at your opportunities for international travel and being able to actually play and stay over there, because you can't stay over there as a 12 or 13-year-old. But what we can do is expose you to what you're trying to get ready for your future. Mr. Rodhead was lucky enough to go over to Spain and play in an inclusive tournament that was focused on Real Madrid and some of the smaller clubs. This is what Mr. Eddie Loewen does, is brings the clubs to you and give you an opportunity to play against those clubs. Instead of having to qualify for the championship game and hope everybody watches you, every single game is an opportunity and every training is an opportunity to get yourself and make yourself better. Sorry, Coach.
Yeah, no, that's great. Absolutely. And that's a great explanation. Since I've been talking quite a bit and Lonnie has been talking, is there any more questions from you guys that have been listening?
I have a question. So what time will we have to arrive on August 1st?
Normally in the morning. The flight that I have, again, and people can book their own flights. The flight that I have reserved right now arrives in the morning time in Munich. Okay, so it arrives in the morning, and then you'll have your first light training session in the afternoon that day. Is this Chris Miller that asked the question, or who's that?
Dominic.
Dominic, okay.
That's all. Thank you.
Does it answer the question?
Yes, it does.
Awesome, good. Yeah, so I want to, here's a couple of things, and that's my bad. And next time, or maybe when we do a presentation again, I'm going to include a picture of Angela also. That's a female player that we had training actually with FC Bayern Munich. 2 years ago. On this slide, you see Kobe on the left side, on the top left. Kobe is a player that went with us on a couple of international trips and then was scouted first by Hoffenheim, which is a very good Bundesliga club. Then Hoffenheim invited him to a trial. So he spent a week at Hoffenheim. He didn't get signed there, but then went on to trial with other Bundesliga clubs in Germany. And then we were able to have him sign with Arminia Bielefeld. That's actually a club that I played for back then. And Arminia Bielefeld, Kobe played with the U19 Bundesliga team at Arminia Bielefeld. And yeah, so that's one example. And then next to Kobe, you see a picture of AJ. He's there with 3 coaches from Fortuna Düsseldorf. Fortuna Düsseldorf is the first Bundesliga club, and he's there with the under 23 coaches. And AJ went last year with us on a summer trip. He was in Duisburg, played in the tournament, and then Fortuna Düsseldorf really had a liking to him. And then this winter, right before actually COVID-19 kind of started becoming really, impacting us, AJ had the opportunity to spend 2 weeks with 2 Bundesliga clubs in trial. So one of the weeks he spent with Fortuna Düsseldorf. So underneath you see a picture of me and Frank Schäfer. Frank is a very good friend of mine, and he's the director at Fortuna Düsseldorf. He's in charge of all of the teams from the under 23 all the way to the youth, the youngest youth team, which is the U9, okay? And then to the next to that, you see a picture of me with the youth director at Arminia Bielefeld. And that's, his name is Finn, and Finn and me, we played together long time ago, about 16 years ago, for Arminia Bielefeld. That's actually the stadium. If you see the stadium in the background, that's the Schüko Arena. That's the stadium that we used to play in. And Arminia Bielefeld still plays in that stadium. They're currently first in the second Bundesliga, and most likely will be promoted to the first Bundesliga for the next season. So we're very excited about that. And so what I'm trying to make the point is that there's an opportunity for you guys to get exposure and see what is the level of the highest youth player in Germany that plays in the Bundesliga. So for example, how does a player at Fortuna Düsseldorf play at my age? Yeah. If you're 2005 or 2004 or 2007, so that you can measure and see. And if you feel, wow, they may be a little bit ahead of us, then we try and we want to give you the steps and the guidance on how you can reach that goal and close that gap. And then when you're 16, 17, that's really a realistic chance for a youth player on the male side to move then to Germany and transfer, because once you turn 18, you're eligible to play in the Bundesliga. Okay, so what we're trying to do is inspire you through this trip, give you a landmark, help you to reach your goal, to improve your game, and then open doors for you to, get an opportunity to play either with a Bundesliga team or have really, really a good pathway also in the US, whether that is college, MLS, or USL. So we're connected on all fronts very, very well. And that's one of the reasons why, Lonnie and me, we got together and looked for ways to, give opportunities for talented players like you.
A lot of you know that some of us have worked in the past with different groups over in Germany. And one of the things we really wanted to focus on was different opportunities and not just one club, right? In different areas, whether we're working in Spain, whether we're working in Germany. In Germany, Mr. Loewen has developed a process that allows players like yourself to be exposed to numerous clubs. Not just because you're part of this group, you have to play for this group. Every player, whether you're a female or a male athlete, is going to be different. And this now allows you to travel on a 10, 11 a day experience, to go inside the facilities, to be connected with the groups. And like Mr. Loewen just touched on, for you young youth players that are really focused on trying to get a college scholarship or things along those lines, these are things that make you different in the collegiate market. Some of you have been listening to Mr. Williams and some of the recruiting things that are talking about. These experiences separate you to college coaches. People like Amanda Cromwell do not look at players that are in their neighborhood. Michaela Thomas is around the corner from her, who plays for Florida State on a national championship team, but was never recruited until she went over and played in Spain with Rujulio. So these different opportunities open up doors for you, not only for intercollegiate athlete, for traveling to Germany, or for professional, but ultimately helps you separate yourself in the club market. As we well know, there are some different discrepancies in a development academy, ECNL. If your dream is to become a national team player, how do you get there? Do you go over to Germany in different markets and see what it takes to become a professional footballer? Or do you hope that you're going to get through your club system? We think the club systems are great. Use the club systems, train hard through them, work hard, represent your club and your community as hard as you possibly can. But understand the reason you've been invited to this particular call or you're part of this process is because somebody has seen something a little bit different in you, and we think we can guide you and help you through those processes. Coach Eddie, anything else for him, or any questions for anybody else?
No, I think that's a great point. And one of the things that we're adding also to the table this year is we purchased a VO camera, okay? And that's a camera that kind of like, from a bird's perspective, follows the ball and is able to then capture all of the sequences, pretty much of the match. So we can then, your parents, if they don't travel with you, we can upload that game and your parents can see that. So they can share that experience with you. That's number one. But number two is also, we can create a really nice highlight video of you playing against the Bundesliga Academy. And what that does, once you send that then to a college coach, now the college coach views that, and they get a lot of those videos. And once they see a player playing against Schalke or Dortmund or Fortuna Düsseldorf, and they right away look at that video with a different eye, because they know that the level of the game that you're playing in is extremely high. Yeah,
just to make sure everybody heard that. Did everybody hear that and really listen to what he said? That is extremely important. The video is great for your parents, but whether you're a 2008 in the middle of Stanislaus and you're trying to get video, they're going to look at these videos and progressions of your career as you go through, and they're offering this as an availability for this. When you go to a showcase at, again, we'll use Surf Cup because it's one of the bigger ones, you are being charged $100 to $45, not by Surf Cup, but by an organization to record you and then send it out to a college coach. Mr. Loewen is saying that they've gone a step further and already started this process for you and as part of the process when you're going and traveling. That is awesome, Coach.
Yeah, because I mean, I know I worked as a college coach too. I worked for 2 years at the University of Akron, and I was an assistant coach, and my main job was to recruit. So I would speak once, with a lot of, recruits, bring them in, and I would get a lot of videos. And for a coach, when you look at a video, you look at, okay, in what environment does that player play? So the player might be able to do great moves and look great on, has some shots and passes. But then when I see the surrounding environment, whether the tempo of the game is slow, whether the opponents are really not so strong, then I have to look into more and say, okay, what is really the league that they're playing in? What is the opponent, so that I can gauge the level. When I see a game that is against the Youth Bundesliga Academy, I know for sure right away what the level is, because I know what the level is in the Youth Academy. Because let's be honest, most of the Division 1 schools on the women's and on the boys' side, they are looking internationally. So they know the level of international players. I just had a very, very good friend of mine, Chris LeMay, who's the head coach at Utah Valley University, Division 1 program on the women's side. And he was supposed to be actually now in Germany recruiting. I set up a trip for him because they're looking for international players to come and impact their program, right? That means that you as a US player, you don't only compete against the top players in your age group regionally, locally, and nationally, but you also compete against international players. So I think one of the things that we're trying to do, like Lonnie already mentioned, is through these videos, elevate your chances to be on the top of the pile when coaches recruit, and that you don't get to the pile that's really not interesting anymore for them, right? And a lot of people also use my name for references, and college coaches will call me, and because they know that we're dealing with really elite programs, and I think that's a big benefit as well. So our goal is really, to help you in your career, on the field, off the field, and with all of the other supporting things that we can provide. Yeah.
Miller, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. How many goalkeeping sessions will there be with Bayern Munich?
With Bayern Munich directly, I mean, you will have a goalkeeping coach every day working with you in Munich. But if we do a session at the FC Bayern Munich campus with Bayern Munich coaches, it will only probably be one session or maximum 2 sessions on campus with Bayern Munich coaches there. But we will have a goalkeeper coach that's available for you 4 days, and you have access to that goalkeeper coach every one of those days, because as we obviously try to make the field players better, in the same way we're trying to the goalkeeping position as a specific position requires unique attention. And then in Duisburg we also have a goalkeeper coach that's in charge of just working with the goalkeepers. His name is Coach Billy Loewen. He's actually from the Netherlands, and he'll be with us there. And you can also, on our website, if you go to Global Soccer Development, if you go on About Us, on the bottom you have like some of the staff coaches that are with us, and you can see their profiles and their pictures, so you can have at least a visual of how the guys look like, and get a feeling for them. But yeah, so we emphasize quite a bit on all aspects of training, whether it's goalkeeping, fitness, rehabilitation, yoga, and then the tactical stuff on the field as well.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? If you see this screen right now, that's at Fortuna Düsseldorf. That was a fantastic day. Actually, our players on that right bottom picture, you see some of our players playing or training with the Fortuna Düsseldorf academy players. So actually there we had a mixed session. So you have really an intercultural exchange, and you see us all mixed in the picture there, where the whole group is together. So we, the coaches were together on the field. We worked together as coaches, and the players played and trained together. It was a great day. Allowed our players and also the German players to interact. And it's a very, very good intercultural experience and a good intercultural exchange. The same thing we did here with Schalke. You see that's at the Schalke Academy. So it was very, very nice. This is here another picture. Those 2 bottom pictures are actually from Berlin, when our girls were in Berlin. So just I wanted to make sure I share some of the impressions with you guys.